This from Browns Wire. Grading Browns quarterbacks from the 2023 season. For Deshaun Watson, they give him a C-. Overall, his season was below average, but incredibly inconsistent. Play varied greatly from jaw-dropping improvisation to headache-inducing decision-making. Watson needs to become a better decision-maker next season. Led to the majority of the underwhelming play this year. I wouldn't necessarily argue that he played outstanding. The record, and I get it. Record is not a quarterback metric necessarily. They're winning games with him at quarterback. The last time we saw him on the field against Baltimore was what we expected from a franchise quarterback. Titans game was good. If you want to tell me his mechanics struggled in some games, I'd listen to that. But overall, incomplete is what I would grade him because, he didn't play enough games.
Yeah, I don't think like a C grade for him is unfair, but I don't love how the writer got there, in my opinion. I don't think Deshaun Watson was very up and down at all. I thought that he was pretty consistently pretty good, but not what you wanted Deshaun Watson to be, right? He had those times where he made some good throws, but all in all, the numbers were kind of underwhelming for a guy that we saw kind of routinely get to 300 yards in Houston. So I would say, to me, Deshaun Watson was somebody who, he played at a above to below to average level most of the time he was out there, but that's not what you expected. I don't know if he was as inconsistent as this writer is indicating. I thought that this was a better description for Joe Flacco, if I'm being honest, where Joe Flacco kind of had these great moments of jaw-dropping improvisation during the season and also had those headache-inducing interceptions that he had. So I don't know. I think the book's all over the place with how people feel like Deshaun Watson played. I think Deshaun Watson, he managed the games well enough when he was out there, and the point differential with him out there, I think, is significant, right? Plus 63, and that's not just because the defenses were magically playing better while Deshaun was out there. It's because Deshaun was doing a good job managing the game, not turning the ball over as much as other quarterbacks were for the Cleveland Browns, and kind of maintaining those leads and then building on top of it. Deshaun had 2 games this year. In the 5 games that he finished 5 games. 2 of those games, he sat out the fourth quarter because it was a blowout. This team was really rolling with him at quarterback. And I think it's obvious that he was definitely a part of that. Was he the main part of that? No, it was this defense. But this defense was playing at a generational level. So it's kind of hard to be mad at him for not being the main reason, but he was still a very big factor in why this team was able to look as good as they did. And the longer we get away from it, Dave, the easier it is to forget. We thought that this team was a serious Super Bowl contender to a man after that Baltimore game. To a man. And it's the further that has gone, the more we've forgotten that that's where we were the last time we saw him play quarterback. And that's not to suggest that he's going to win the MVP this year, but we can't act like he's a lost cause because the play's been that bad when it really hasn't.